Vacay Baes, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing you guys a journey series video. I wanted to talk about a topic that is straight away from something that we don't typically talk about, things that you don't really hear how to deal with, which is dealing with grief, especially during the holidays. Where in November, we're right in the beginning of getting into holiday season. It's November 7th today, so we've completed our first full week of November. I'm gonna decorate the Christmas tree today. You know, you just have this feeling of the holidays in the air. If you're in a place where it starts to get cold, you're feeling like that cool, nippy weather. We had a couple of cold days here in Florida, and it's about to go back up because y'all know how Florida is, but just there's a certain feeling that comes over you when the holidays get near. And one of the main purposes of my journey series is to talk about things that I'm going through that somebody else may be dealing with, and we can get down in the comments, have a conversation, and maybe help each other out. There may be something that I say throughout this video that could be such a game changer for you in the way that you're dealing with your personal life issues, and vice versa. There's somebody who may have already went through this and could be such a success story and a big help to myself and others. So I always encourage, please get down in the comments, and if you feel comfortable sharing the way that you've overcome some of the things that I talk about, please let us know, and just your experiences. We love to hear about it. Going through the holidays, it brings up a lot of emotions. You know, it brings up joy, but then you're also very reminiscent. You're reminiscing on past holidays. You know, you're just thinking of how grateful you are. You know, we come upon spending time with family, just memories. It can uncover a lot of emotions and a lot of memories of people who may no longer be with us, and just kind of uncovering any raw feelings that you have about situations from the past or current. And anybody who is currently going through like any health issues or anything current, it just really brings up those intense emotions. And as somebody who, I lost my father in 2021, he passed away in September of 2021, and that was a very difficult, hard time for me. And it's something that I'm still processing to this day. You know, I haven't completely healed from that. I don't know if you ever really do. You know, you may get 99.9% healed from that, but losing somebody, and especially losing someone that's very close to you, is extremely hard. So 2021, the holidays for me were difficult. You know, I had only had 3 months to kind of process everything that happened. And although you're excited to have made it to another holiday season, you're reminded that someone that you loved did not. And it is challenging. It's challenging because on one hand, you want to be thankful and grateful that you're still here, and you want to enjoy the people who are still in your life. And on the other hand, you can't help but think about the person that you've lost. And grief hits everyone differently. Some people are able to process it very hard and very quickly, and some people it's more of a long-term situation. So I think it depends on the relationship that you had with that person, and also just the way that you process things yourself. We're all different. Our personalities are different. The time that we get to grieve is different. I had a lot of changes that were happening around my first holiday season without my dad, and those changes caused me to not be able to process things 100%. I just feel like there were so many changes in my life, like me transitioning to a new job role. At the time, I felt like I was losing friends. I was figuring myself out. There were just so many different things that were changing. And so that kind of hindered my grief in a way. I feel like I was sad, but it wasn't because I was really grieving. I just was overwhelmed completely. You know, there's so much going on. There's just so many things happening. If you're a person that travels during the holidays, I was traveling still. And I think I didn't have enough time to even process the way that I felt because there's so much going on, you know, like my company holiday party, trips, like, and things that typically they sound like, if you wouldn't have known that I was grieving during that time, it sounds like, oh, you have so many fun things planned. You have a vacation coming up. You have this, you have that. And I think in November I went on a cruise, and then in December I went to Dallas, and there was just too much going on for me to really process my feelings of how I felt losing someone that was very close to me. I can remember it just not being the best time. And the holiday season that I had last year in 2022, after having a full year of being able to go through my emotions, which I feel like hit me really harder in January, February, March, like about 6 months after my dad's passing, it started to creep in, you know? And that's another thing, is that everyone checks on you during the holidays because they're reminiscent and they remember that you've lost somebody. They think about you. They remember how you may be going through things. And so you feel very supported. And I know that there are some people who don't have that support system. So I'm not saying this for everybody, but a lot of people feel very supported during the holidays because there's a lot of people around. But in that moment, you at least know that there are people that are aware of what you're going through. You know, they know that you've experienced a recent loss. As time passes, people move on. Time keeps going. The world keeps spinning. And you get in this space where you really start grieving. You really start working through the way that you feel. It's not a holiday. It's not the anniversary of the person's passing. It's a random Tuesday in the middle of March. And for me, this was when I feel like I really started to work through feeling the loss of my dad, you know, and just feeling the loss of honestly everybody that I'd ever lost before. I feel like there are different stages of grief, and he wasn't the first person in my family that had passed, but the first person that was this close to me, you know, like that's my dad, you know? And so I think you start to kind of think of things, of people that have passed beforehand, and then there's a certain guilt that comes if you're grieving someone harder than someone else. It's weird, and if you've gone through grief before, then you can maybe attest to this, but you're overthinking. You're kind of overthinking everything, and you're just starting to process the way that you have lost somebody. Fast forward to the holiday season that I had last year in 2022 versus the one that I had in 2021. I was so happy. I had so much fun this last holiday season. I spent so much time with my mom, like just remembering the last holiday season that I had. I don't know if y'all saw the smile that just came on my face, but I can just remember like watching movies with my mom. We got into different shows. We were making holiday cocktails. Like, we were really just making little snacks, and we, for a while, did not really pour into the holidays the way that we probably should have. And I think you get used to just getting busy and thinking that little things don't matter. Like, we really went all out, decorated the house, and, you know, just poured into like treating ourselves, you know, not because of consumerism, because it's the holidays and we want to buy things, but because we felt like, you know what, we worked really hard this year. Like, we worked hard on our mental health. We worked hard on our spirituality. We worked hard on trying to become better people. And we feel like we really deserve it to treat ourselves. And so we did what we called a self-care Christmas, and we bought ourselves things. You know, we got each other little things too, but we really poured into getting ourselves things. And it was fun because we got to show each other like, this is what I got. And there were some things that we forgot that we had gotten, you know, just little things, little books, little catch a sale here. It's like, oh, I got this candle. This makes me happy. And I guess going through that and seeing the differences between my 2021 holiday season and my 2022 where I still was processing the loss. But what made that second holiday season so much better and easier, aside from the time, because a year, 2 years would have passed, and if I had not gone through really processing my grief and letting myself go through the full stage of emotions, the mad, the sad, the confusion, the everything, the feeling like I'm gonna let myself really go through this on a regular Tuesday, Wednesday, the calling out of work, that everything that I had experienced, if I hadn't gone through that and then kind of come on the other side to be like, my dad would want me to be so happy right now. He would want me to experience life to the fullest, and just reminding myself that you are afforded these days that someone else has not. And just feeling like, you know what, like I owe it to myself, and I also owe it to him a little bit to be happy and enjoy this life that he would want me to have. And I think that if you think about it in that way, it will help you during the holiday season to remember the good times that you've had with this person. You know, it's a lot. I'm not going to sit up here and say that it's not challenging and it's not hard. It is. And now that I'm coming up on my second holiday season since he has passed, I am able to look back, you know, and have that comparison of the two holidays, and also notice that just because I've worked through it, it doesn't mean that I don't get sad. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't have moments where you miss that person or you think about it. Like, even talking about it, this is a lot for me. Like, I've gotten through a lot of it without getting teary-eyed and crying, but I think because I'm kind of like holding back on it. Of course, when you talk about emotions that are hurtful to you or painful, it brings up a certain amount of I'm gonna cry, you know. But also, I think one of the things that makes me want to cry the most is not the sadness, it's the joy, you know, tears of joy of knowing that you are able to work through these things, and also just knowing that there's somebody else out there that is going through what I have went through, you know, or there are people that maybe haven't went through it yet but are going to go through this, and you're trying to figure out what's the best way for you to get through this, and what's normal and what's not normal. And I just want to tell you to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, give yourself time, allow yourself to just feel what you feel. There's a certain level of guilt that comes with grieving during the holidays because you feel like you can't really grieve the way that you want to, that everyone around you is happy and you don't want to bring up these sad things and feel like you're dampening the mood, or, you know, like that you're like a negative Nancy. But at the end of the day, you have to feel what you feel and remind yourself that your feelings are valid. Push through it because you'll get through it. Lean into as much of the positives as you can. Lean into everything that you have. Lean into any positive, happy memory that you have with that person, and just enjoying the time that you have left with the people that you do have. You know, you don't want to waste any more time. You don't want to waste any more time. You don't want to waste any possible memories, any possible moments. This is the time to work on yourself. If there are relationships that you have that are unmended, try to mend those relationships. If possible, try to just forgive people, you know. I don't know how much I've really opened up on this, and obviously it's personal, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but my dad and I had so many things that we needed to mend before his passing, and I didn't get that opportunity, but that doesn't mean that you can't. You have that opportunity to just let the spirit of the holidays really move you and forgive people, whether it's friends, whether it's family, co-workers, anybody that you feel like, you know, this is petty, we should let this go. You should. And just because it will help your grieving. It's going to help your grieving, it's going to help your healing, and it's also going to remind you that life is so short, but it's so precious, and there's not a lot of time that we have here on this earth, but there's a lot that we can do while we're here. And one of those things is healing ourselves and healing through our relationships with other people. So I think back on the amount of growth that I've experienced since my dad passed and how much he has contributed to my growth in him not being here. And even that is a blessing, you know. It's difficult to accept because I wish that it would have been something that could have happened while he was here, but God works in mysterious ways and he always has a plan. And just knowing that everything happens for a reason, and if you could just find peace in knowing that your story is going exactly the way that it was planned to, then that'll help you push through the difficult emotions and the feelings that you're going through. And just remember that feelings are fleeting. They will pass. Like, you will get through it. There will be a day where you wake up and it's not as hard to get out of bed as it was, or it feels fun again to celebrate the holidays. Like, it may not feel like it this holiday season. It may not feel like it next holiday season. It may take you 5-6 years, but just keeping that hope in mind that one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna enjoy all the jolliness, you're gonna enjoy all the festivities again, you're going to enjoy everything, and you're gonna be able to push through. So I just think that there are some things we don't talk about because it's sensitive, and death is one of them. And losing somebody so close to me has helped me understand death in a much better way. And I feel like I'm supposed to share that with somebody, you know? So as hard as it is for me to open up and sometimes tell the way that I feel obligated to, and I feel happy and full by, you know, sharing things that I went through in hopes that it will help somebody else. So I don't know who needed to hear that today. And like I said, I say this every journey video. I'm speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to y'all, you know, because my dad wasn't the first person that I've lost in my life, and he won't be the last. And I may need to go back and watch this and remind myself that it's okay. So I just wanted to share that with everybody and let you know that whatever you're going through, you will get through it. And just try as much as you can to lean into the good memories that you have with this person, and everything will be all right. Everything will be okay. So yeah, I love talking to you guys, and I'm glad that I was able to get on here and share that with you. As always, please drop down in the comments, have a conversation. It's always a conversation to be had. And if you have any topics that you are going through and you kind of think that I may have went through that I could shed a little bit of light on, or my experience, drop them down as well, because I could come on here and kind of talk to you about how I got through those things. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. And like I said, 2 holiday seasons later, can't believe it's been 2 years, but 2 holiday seasons later, I am excited. I'm optimistic about this holiday season, and yeah, just happy to be able to continue on this life, this journey that I've been given. So thank you, Mom, for that, and also thank you, Dad, for that. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Love ya.